Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will study example of biological method. For solving the biological problem, scientists follow the different steps of scientific method. The scientific method is a process for experimentation used to explore observations and answer the questions. Scientists use the scientific method to search for cause and effect relationship in nature. Today we will study the biological problem number 1. What is the cause of malaria? So for solving the biological problem, scientific method applied. The step number 1 of the scientific method is observation. Almost all scientific inquiry begins with an observation that creates curiosity. A good scientist is observant and notices the things in the world around. For solving the biological problem, observations were made. Different observations related to the malarial problem बनाई गई, ठीक है? And observations are made by using 5 senses or by studying the previous research. First जो observation malarial problem से related find out की गई that malarial patient suffer the symptoms of chill and fever. And the other observation was that this disease was more common among those people who lived in the marshy areas. जो marshy areas होते हैं, जहाँ पे वाटर स्टैंड करता है, डिचेस में पानी खड़ा रहता है, वहाँ पे डिफरेंट टाइप के लिविंग क्रिएचर्स फ्लरिश करते हैं. सो मे बी दैट वाज द causing agent for malarial disease. कुछ वॉलंटियर्स ने खुद को रिसर्च स्टडी के लिए प्रेजेंट किया. They drank the water from the marshes, but they did not get any symptom of malarial disease. So it was concluded that malarial disease is not caused by drinking the water of marshes. So the next observation was made that the stagnant water, the standing water of ditches poison the air, it pollutes the air. कि ditches में पानी खड़ा रहता है, different type के living creatures flourish करते हैं stagnant water में and they pollute the air. And when that polluted air, that bad air is inhaled, so the person may get malaria. दूसरी ऑब्जर्वेशन ये बनाई गई कि जो स्टैग्नेंट वाटर में डिफरेंट टाइप के माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स फ्लरिश करते हैं, जिसकी वजह से एयर पलूट हो जाती है, और जब वो पलूटेड एयर इनहेल करते हैं, सो they get the symptoms of malaria. Malaria, it is an Italian word. Mala means bad and area means air. But these observations were not fruitful. जो observations बनाई गई जो ऑब्जर्वेशंस बनाई गई रिलेटेड टू द मलेरियल प्रॉब्लम, दैट मलेरियल पेशेंट्स suffer the symptom of chill and fever, and the disease was more common among the people who lived in the marshy areas. And the other observation, that malarial disease is not caused by drinking the water of marshes, and it is not caused by the polluted air. So all these observations did not help in solving the biological problem, that what is the cause of malaria. 200 years later, it was proved that many diseases are caused by microorganisms. Microorganisms are those organisms which cannot be seen by the naked eye, which can only be seen through a microscope, like virus, bacteria, fungi. So 200 years later, it was proved that many diseases are caused by bacteria. For example, pneumonia is caused by bacteria, typhoid is caused by bacteria, cholera is caused by bacteria. So in 1878, a French physician, Laveran, he studied the previous all these observations, and he start working on that biological problem. He take the blood sample of the malarial patient and observed under the microscope. So he observed the small living creatures in the blood sample of the malarial patient. जब उसने malarial patient के blood sample लिए और under the microscope study किया, so he found the small living creatures in the blood, and he won the Nobel Prize for his discoveries. Five years later, Laveran named these microorganisms as a malarial parasite and named these malarial parasite Plasmodium. Laveran ने मलेरियल पेशेंट के ब्लड सैंपल में जो माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स ऑब्जर्व किए, जो लिविंग क्रिएचर्स ऑब्जर्व किए, he named them Plasmodium, the malarial parasite. So, the final observation which was made, that Plasmodium is the causing agent of malaria. So after the observation, move to the next step of the scientific method, hypothesis and deduction. Hypothesis is an educated guess based upon the previous observations made by the scientist. And hypothesis is always testable through experimentation. There is always a way to disprove the hypothesis after experimentation. क्योंकि hypothesis जो है वो biological problem का एक possible answer होता है, एक educated guess होता है. So after experimentation, अगर experimental result hypothesis की favor में नहीं जाता है, तो hypothesis को reject किया जाता है और biological problem के लिए एक new hypothesis develop किया जाता है. So for this biological problem, hypothesis was that Plasmodium is the cause of malaria. Causing agent of malaria is Plasmodium, the malarial parasite. The deduction was also made. Deduction is the logical consequences of hypothesis. Deduction is derived from the hypothesis statement. जो hypothesis एक guess दिया जाता है, एक possible answer दिया जाता है biological problem के लिए, उसी से deduction derive की जाती है, एक reasoning derive की जाती है. if Plasmodium is the cause of malaria, then all malarial patients must have Plasmodium in their blood. कि अगर मलेरिया का कॉजिंग एजेंट प्लाज्मोडियम है तो तमाम मलेरियल पेशेंट्स के ब्लड सैंपल में प्लाज्मोडियम फाउंड होगा. So that is the reasoning. Reasoning may be deductive or inductive. In deductive reasoning, we move from general to specific, and in inductive reasoning, we move from specific to general. For example, if we say that all plant cells have a nucleus, the controlling center, so then all different type of plants like woody plants, flowering plants or non-flowering plants, either in the blade of grass, in every plant, nucleus will be present. So this is the reasoning. This is the deduction. So in today's lecture, we have studied about the biological problem 1, what is the cause of malaria? Step number 1, observation. Step number 2, hypothesis and deduction. Thank you.